Welcome all to the first episode of History Bash. I'm your host, Joe. Today I'll be answering the question that forever stalks and looms in the back of students' head like a nightmare. What is history? You probably feel the unfortunate memories burning in the back of your brain of the 100 Years' War or politics of the 1900s, and God forbid, we all remember the Battle of Antietam. Anyways, like I just asked, what is history? Just like wars and stuff that happened in the past, right? Well, you're not wrong, I suppose. History is a study of past events, particularly in human affairs and or the whole series of past events connected with someone or something. That's what comes up when you Google it, so yeah. History starts a long time ago, not in a galaxy far, far away, but right here on our home planet, Earth. A man by the name of Herodotus, an ancient Greek, wrote the first history book about 2,500 years ago. That you can put in the quote, a long time ago. His book was about a war between the Greeks and Persians known today as the Greco-Persian Wars, called his book a historion, which basically translates into inquiry, which means investigation. I like to quote Mr. Arnold Toynbee, who is a historian and a philosopher of history. Can't be any more legit unless your name is history. History is a Greek word which means literally just investigation. I mean, he nailed it on the head. Congrats, Arnold. So if history means in basic terms investigation, what does it imply? Look no further, I am here with an answer. It doesn't mean learn old boring stuff that happened in the past. It means to inquire and learn about interesting stuff. So really, history is like a hypothesis, if you will. Asking a question and searching, or experimenting to find the answer. So that's it. You're just gonna leave me at that? No, don't worry, it's not over. We have to figure out the answer to the next question. How do we do history? Well, with what we just went through, we're basically figuring out the answer of how to figure out an answer, if that makes sense. But you're a dear stalker on young Watson. Oh god, I shouldn't have said anything. To do history, we first need evidence. Like a detective, historians must look for clues and hints from the past. In books, of course. So grab a comfy chair, you might be reading for a while. Historians take their evidence and split it into two categories, primary source and secondary source. Primary source is an artifact, document, letter, book, recording, and so on that was written or captured or created during a time of which is to be studied. For example, if I were studying ancient Egypt, I may want to find a museum with artifacts that have hieroglyphics on them, seeing as I, of course, know how to read ancient hieroglyphs, like the one in Indiana Jones with R2-D2. I can read that. The other category is the secondary source. The secondary source is a document or writing based on the primary source and is written after the time period of which is being studied. Good example is a textbook. You know, the one you forgot in your locker. Now I need the last key thing to do history, a narrative. Narrative is a story if you didn't know. Historians and such like to take the questions we all ask and throw them into a story to answer them using their primary and secondary sources. Simple enough. Why do we do history? History is really fun. I mean, come on. Like we just learned, history is one big story, and a true one at that. Want to make a movie? Flip to a random page in a history book and boom, true story that begs to win an Oscar. And who doesn't love a good story? If we didn't love a good story, we wouldn't have the previously mentioned Oscar-winning films and magnificent tales of fiction weaved by authors like a spider, or an old lady making a quilt. One last burning question begs to be answered like the last puppy in a box waiting to be picked. What is history for? It's kind of debatable. Maybe it's for in-school torture, maybe for posterity's sake, but to me it represents memory and education for the past, which is basically posterity's sake. Honestly though, we can use it to find solutions to problems in today's world. It shows what we need in the present world that may not be visible in it. Us as people are constantly stuck in the now, and anything a day old, it's like having a Vietnam flashback. No one likes to talk about it. Hey, real quick, you want to know good history? Friends is good history. We need that today, like it's the best show I've watched in my life. Did you know Matt LeBlanc was in a Heinz ketchup commercial before he was famous?
Hot dog, please.
No mustard on that or what?
No thanks. I got it covered.
Heinz ketchup. It's so rich, so thick. Why waste time with anything else? Heinz. The best things come to those who wait.
It's so bad. Anyways, most of the things we need to nourish or inspire us are things from the past. Like that ketchup commercial. We obviously need to do ketchup stunts and make a new government entirely based off of ketchup. We also get good ideas from the past and history as well. There are exceptions, of course, looking at you, Hitler. But we find that things from the days of old can provide us with what we need in today's world. For example, if there's ever an apocalypse, we can use old techniques to survive on our own. That's not really a good example, but let's go with it. First, we ask, what is history? All it really is asking and answering questions. Second, we ask, how do we do history? Find your evidence and put it into a narrative. Third, we ask, why do we do history? simply because it's fun and entertaining and educational. Finally, we ask, what is history for? It's there for us to learn from our mistakes, provide and inspire us with what we need in the present. Hey, just think, learning how to take truthful facts and turning them into real stories is a major life lesson that will help you long down the road. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye-bye.